Hello from the Eliot estate. I just got the lavender rose all finished up and tidied up and buttoned up, and they look so nice. My ears are ringing because I didn't wear hearing protection with the leaf blower, so my stupid fault. But I wanted to give you an update this morning of where we're looking at, what we're looking at here at it's almost the end of July, here on our lavender fields. Now, if you are new to our channel, this is the second year for majority of the lavender in this first quadrant. I do have a whole nother quadrant of lavender that I started this year, and I will take you over there, but it's looking a little rough. But we are in Ohio, like mid-Ohio, zone 6, and I wanted to go through the different varieties that I have and what I've already gotten harvested and what the field is looking like. So nonetheless, let's turn you guys around, show you what's blooming, because it smells so good. And whenever I was leaf blowing this morning, I was just like kicking up all that fragrance, and it smelled so good. This is our lavender field, and you can see not all the rows of lavender are filled. So I wanted to talk about that. And then over here, you can't see it because of how tall the hay is, but I have a whole nother quadrant of lavender just like this, or it will be just like this. So earlier this year, I had some help, and we came in and we planted this first row of hidcot, however you want to say it. And then Taylor, my husband, came in and helped me, and we laid a nice walking lane of walking mulch. So we have landscaping fabric underneath of it, and then we have like a bark mulch that's really nice, so we don't have to worry about all of this grass, because that is the biggest maintenance at this point in the season, is, you know, the grass, like mowing it, keeping it trimmed down. And a week ago, you couldn't even see all of this lavender because the hay was so stinking tall. It was like knee height. And anyway, my husband was gracious enough to come in. He push mowed all the rows, and then, as you just saw, I came through with the leaf blower and blowed off all of the rows where the lavender is. So the end goal for these lavender fields is to have all of these rows filled with beautiful varieties of lavender. Now, in this first quadrant of lavender, we have, I think, 5 different varieties. We have 11 rows total. Each of the rows can hold about like 65 to 68 plants. And there are several rows like this one right here that will be filled with royal velvet, because this is the variety that we have in this row. And I'm going to dedicate almost 2 rows per variety. So we have this row open, and then we have the last 2 that are open for another new variety. So like I mentioned, in this first 2 rows, we have hidcoat, we have royal velvet, which I already had come through and harvested last week. The first couple plants you can see that aren't trimmed, those I left up because those I had planted later. So anyway, majority of them in this row look trimmed back and really nice. So we're not seeing any purple blooms. Like I mentioned, this hidcoat I had planted this year, and they were pretty small. Like, they've already doubled or tripled in size in some of the plugs. But you can see that it's already starting to, you know, come into color. And I don't know, I don't know, it's hard to say because this is my first year of harvesting, but I don't know that I'll get much off of it, which is totally fine. I am completely new to lavender farming. I have no experience. I'm learning as we go. So majority of this is going to be trial and error and just like what I find. So on some of the varieties, which I'll show you here in a second, I know I missed my like harvest time for optimal like harvest for drying and maybe like oil production, which is okay. I think I might just cut them and maybe just dry them. The buds have already like popped open. So that's where we're looking on some of them. But like I said, the royal velvet that I harvested last week, I got pretty good. So that's drying right now. But I just wanted to let you know that I'm no by far a expert on lavender farming. And like I said, I've been reading things online and just working and experiencing it as it comes, and yeah, just as it comes. So you can see on some of these hidcoat I only have a couple bloom stalks. So what I might do is just come in, kind of shear off those, because this is kind of like optimal right here, optimal timing on getting them for drying. And I might just shear them up, and that way they have time to kind of just work on their root development. Now, in case you're new to our channel, all of the lavender plants are hooked up on drip irrigation. Here in Ohio, I think I could get away with possibly using no drip irrigation. We get enough rainfall usually and typically in a normal season that I think they would be just fine. However, I wanted to ensure that these little babies had plenty of opportunities to grow nice and big. So I did hook everything up on drip. They have a small emitter popped by the root ball, and then we staked down a line that just goes all the way down through the lavender. And like I said, they have an emitter at each root ball, so they get water. And you know, I've actually been able to keep the drip off because we've had enough rainfall, which is really nice. But I did want that backup just in case we get a nice drought, a drought time, which we did about a month ago. We had, I don't know, like 3 to 4 weeks that we didn't have rainfall. So it was really nice. We have Fulgate, which is the variety that I was telling you, I think has already kind of went past its prime. Possibly, I don't know. We'll see. But it looks so pretty. And the game plan is to do that walking mulch in between each of the rows. So in the long run, it'll be really nice and easy to maintain. I'm sure we'll have to pull weeds here and there that pop up, but we won't be having to mow the rows and like blow off the black plastic and all that kind of stuff, because we'll have a nice, just easy walking mulch. But I was just so thrilled just to see all of this purple color down the rows, and just, I don't know, it's the vision that I've always envisioned that's coming true. So I'm really, really excited to see all of the purple. So in these 2 rows we have Fulgate, and then over here there is a more pale bloom, which is Melissa Lilac, and it's more on like the white to like, it almost looks blush. There's some blush pinky tones in there, and it's so pretty. So this is a variety that just is a lot more pale in the bloom, and I love seeing the different contrast of like the purples and the whites in the rows. So we'll have Melissa Lilac here, we'll have it in this row as well. Next spring I plan to come in, actually late spring, maybe early summer, and I'm going to do some cuttings off of my bigger, more mature plants and do some propagating, and that's how I'm gonna fill up these rows that don't have anything. In this last row we have Grosso, however you want to say it, and it's cool because this one's a lot longer of a stalk, or is that what you call it? It's a lot longer and it's more wispy. So compared to the other ones, it's fun just to see how wispy and tall this variety is. Now I know that majority of these English lavender plants that I have planted are really great for oil production. And you may be asking, like, why the heck are you planting this whole field of lavender? What's the game plan? I want a field of lavender for like this dream aesthetic in my head. But I also want to be able to come out here and just have it as like this calming, serene, grounding place amongst the chaos of the world. I just want this really beautiful slice of Provence. So that's the whole goal, is to make it look like the lavender fields in France. And then we can also use them for dried arrangements. So we can use them for oil distribution. We can grab the hydrosol off of the lavender as well. And then also a place for people to come out and also experience this piece of land. So photographers will be able to come in and just like shoot amongst the lavender blooms and such. So I don't know, we'll see how it all turns out in the end, but I'm really, really, really excited about this second year of growth and what things are looking like. And we're slowly getting better at getting things to where they're easily more maintained. I am sweating like crazy. that leaf blowing, well, it didn't do too much. My arm hurts and I feel like I'm shaking and I'm sweating like a piggy. So another lavender I wanted to show you is this hedge of Sweet Romance lavender, which let me take you back because it looks really pretty from afar. We have our quadrant of lavender, and then we have this 19-foot walkway, and on each side we have 60 feet of Sweet Romance, the proven winner Sweet Romance lavender, and it is so good. So the game plan in the end is to have this all pea graveled. So you have like a nice pea graveled walking area. You have the walking mulch over in between the rows, and then also in between here, we'll install like big old wood vertical slabs, and I want to do like a rose tunnel situation. So we'll have white climbing roses that will climb up over this tunnel, so it'll be very dreamy, and then you have the lavender that's underplanted. So we planted the Sweet Romance lavender, gosh, it's been like a month plus, and it looks really beautiful. And if we wanted to, we could also harvest this lavender as well. I don't plan to because I just want it for aesthetic purposes, but it just looks so beautiful, and I'm excited to see it next year, and how much growth it puts on in 1 year. Let's come down here to the second quadrant of lavender. And I have to tell you, I was weed eating through here to make a path over to the second quadrant because this is originally a hay field, and the hay is just like going for it. It wants to reclaim its land. But I was moving this black plastic that we pulled up from the second quadrant, and I saw a little gardener snake, and it made me willy in my skin. So over here in the second quadrant, these first 3 rows are Munstead. Correct? Yes. Munstead lavender. And these we planted this year, and they have doubled and tripled in size as well. They look so good. So we have a couple rows open here, which are a little funky looking. They need straightened out. And then we have Elegance Purple. And this has also put on some really great growth as well. It's pushing, oh my gosh, look at this plant. Look at all those little baby buds. And this was quite flopsy whenever we had planted them. So a lot of you can see up through here, a lot of the stalks are kind of going outward and then shooting off up into the sky. But wow, I didn't realize there were this many buds on this Elegance Purple. It smells so, so good. And then the last, well, second to last 2 rows, I have phenomenal lavender, and you can see I only have 6 plants here, and that was just because of how much I can get my hands on in the season. So again, we'll do a bunch of cuttings and propagation cuttings to fill up these 2 rows. So it's going to take several years to get these rows filled up, but if you can just imagine them all in the end, it's going to be dynamite, and it's going to be so, so beautiful. So as far as next steps with what we have to do in the season, I'm going to be harvesting that full gate, and I'm going to be cutting back also some other varieties that maybe have went too far. I'll just use them for my own personal use. But I'm going to be harvesting some of the lavender, and I'm sure I'll take you guys along for that as well. But I just wanted to give you an update of how we are looking here, like I said, at the end of July, how things are blooming. Some things are just blooming later in the season because of us planting this spring or whatever, but things are looking really good. I'm really excited. So I think I covered everything. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Like I said, this is our 2nd year of growing, and I don't know 100% of all the things about lavender, but I'm really excited to learn as we come and tackle them in the seasons ahead. So anyway, I hope this is inspiring. I'm really excited just to see all the purple blooms, and I wanted to give you a quick update. So thank you guys for visiting the Eliot estate, and thank you for watching.